Hey guys, welcome to another Thursday edition of the Vinyl Den, your channel for record collecting by record collectors. My name is Nick, and this week I'm going to talk about something that I'm sure everyone out there, I know I have been excited to see, and that's the Record Store Day 2021 list. Before I get into my quick take on the list, make sure you click on the link below and go check out the Vinyl Den Facebook group. Also make sure you subscribe to the channel and give the episode the old thumbs up. And, I do want to thank everyone who has subscribed to the channel. We just went over 1,000 subscribers, so that's really sweet. I just want to thank everyone. I'm sure Ian would also want to thank everyone if he was here. But, it's been a really interesting 10 or 11 months that we've been doing the channel, and we've been having a lot of fun with it. So I just want to thank everyone for coming out and subscribing and supporting the channel. So as many of you guys already know, the list for Record Store Day 2021 came out yesterday, the 7th. I believe it was like 1 p.m. Eastern that the list actually dropped. And so Record Store Day has been kind of broken up into two drops for the year. You get June 12th and July 17th. And, when I first went over the list, I was really kind of underwhelmed. I didn't really see a whole lot that I really was hoping I would see on there. I will say that I was kind of disappointed with the amount of picture discs that were on there. I know that, I think Record Store Day kind of goes through these phases. There was a couple years where we had just like a lot of live albums. It seems like we had a lot of picture discs last year. Looks like we have even more picture discs this year. But, like I said, when I first looked at it, I really didn't, I don't know, there wasn't a whole lot that I saw that really interested me, but I guess the more I looked at the list, the more I actually found more that I at least will entertain maybe picking up. So there's a couple of things I noticed like right off the top. And one of the things I was really hoping to see was more releases from Skid Row for Record Store Day. I know that the colored pressing that they released in January, I believe, seemed to sell pretty well. I know they've done multiple colored variants since then. They've all seemed to sell pretty well. Slave to the Grind, which was probably one of the biggest hits for Record Store Day last year. I kind of thought we would move down that line and see more releases from them, but there wasn't any of that on there. Another band that I was really kind of hoping to see, and some other people I know that had kind of talked with me about Record Store Day stuff, was we were really kind of hoping to see some more releases from Warrant. Some, getting into their later catalog. A lot of people, I don't think, really appreciate a lot of the music that Warrant created past Cherry Pie. But they've got a really great catalog and some really great albums after that also. So I was kind of hoping to see some more of that. The Cure, I'm a big fan of The Cure. They've got a couple of albums coming out for Record Store Day. But like the releases last year, they're picture discs. And I know the Cure albums from last year for Record Store Day, from what I understand, actually sound pretty decent as far as picture discs go. But it's like, I think you lose a lot of people with those releases, and they probably would sell better if they were, even if they're on standard black, I think they would sell better. But so I was a little disappointed about that. And of course, me personally, I was really hoping to see something from Pink Floyd, whether it was something from Roger Waters or Pink Floyd, the band itself. I know that they've released a couple of things from the later years box set. I know the Nebworth concert is coming out here pretty soon. But there's a lot of other stuff on that box set. There's a lot of other live material on that box set. That'd be great on an album. So I was really kind of hoping to see either that or some of the stuff from the Wall live back in 1980. It's a period of their live albums that I don't think has ever been officially released on vinyl. I know there's a couple of unofficial releases out there that go for pretty high, well over $100 if you can find it. But even that I haven't seen for a couple of years. But so those are a couple of things from Pink Floyd I was really kind of hoping to see. But like I said, none of that stuff was on the list. So like I said earlier, the first time I went through this list, there wasn't a whole lot that I saw. But the more I looked at it, and because I was out with my kids when the list got released, So if I was able to go home, by the time I got home and actually dug through this list, there's actually several albums that I'm definitely interested in grabbing. Overall, I wrote I think 12 down on my list here of albums that I may not pick up for sure, but I'll definitely consider picking up. And it's funny. I think there's one, two. It's almost split between the June 12th and the July 17th date. It's 7 and 5. So there's more on the June date than there was on the July date. But I'll kind of run through them and just kind of give you a quick breakdown of at least what I'm interested in. The first one from July 12th is, I'm a big Alkaline Trio fan. I just probably got into their music within the last couple of years for sure, but they're releasing From Here to Infirmary. I believe this is on a black and white splatter album, I believe, according to the pictures I saw online. This is a record store day first. There's going to be 3,000 of these. So it might not be too hard to find. It's one that I'll probably end up picking that one up if I can get my hands on it. Another one for June is, so Black Sabbath just released Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules within the last couple of months. And they actually sold pretty good. So I was actually kind of surprised to see they're actually releasing picture disc versions for Record Store Day. So if you're a big Black Sabbath fan and you enjoy, I know there's people out there that like picking up picture discs for the collectability of them, but those should look kind of sweet. They both have really cool looking album covers. So I think they're doing 4,000 each of those for, like I said, so all those three albums are going to be on the June date. A couple other ones for June. So the first one I saw on the list when I looked at it the first time was the Morrison Hotel Sessions from The Doors. Morrison Hotel is probably my favorite Doors album. So the Morrison Hotel Sessions are just like early recordings of the songs off that album. So that should be definitely cool to pick up. They're going to do 7,500 of those. So that's definitely one that I'm going to try to get my hands on. The other one is Linkin Park Meteora, which this was supposed to be, I believe this is originally on the Record Store Day list for last year. And then it got pushed back to Black Friday. And then I believe it got pushed completely off the list after that. I know there's a lot of people out there that are looking for this one. I actually already have a copy of Meteora, so I don't know if I'm going to pick this one up. They're going to be, there'll be 8,500 of these, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. But, it depends. I guess it really depends on once I get there what I end up doing. But I may or may not pick that one up. So the next one on my list for June was one that I didn't see initially. But after I started going through the list a second time, I was kind of scrolling down through it, and I was like, what is Kenny Loggins doing on a Record Store Day list? So he's releasing At the Movies, which I assumed correctly that this was something to do with all of his really great movie soundtrack songs from the 80s. As a kid that grew up in the 80s, I definitely love a lot of these tracks. There's stuff from like Top Gun on there. So that was one I definitely was looking to pick up. There's 2,100 of those. So that's probably, even though there's a limited number, 2,100, that's not it's not a huge number, but it's not a tiny number either. So I would assume that I'd be able to pick that one up. I don't think I'd be a really fast mover. But the next one for June was another one that probably will go pretty quick. And even though there's 4,400 of these, this is Thelonious Monk, Palo Alto. This is the Custodian mix. So I did an episode a while back about this album, about the Palo Alto Thelonious Monk album. It's a great story. If you haven't done so, I'll put a link above. Go check out the video. But basically, like a quick rundown is a kid in high school out in California was putting on a benefit, wrote Thelonious Monk and asked him to perform there. And up until just within the last couple of years, they never knew that there was a recording of this out there. And it was actually the custodian for the high school that recorded the audio that ended up becoming the Palo Alto release that was released, I think it was late last year, beginning part of this year. So this is the custodian's actual recording of it. So this is going to be really kind of cool to see. I know the original Palo Alto release had a great kind of packaging with it, kind of give a backstory and everything. But if you're a jazz fan, definitely pick this one up. This should be a pretty good one. So the last two I have for June are definitely two albums that I really am interested to pick up. And the first one is from Prince. This is The Truth. I believe this is a mostly acoustic album. This should be pretty easy to find, I would assume. There's 13,000 of these going to be released. But you never really know. I know that a couple years back when Pearl Jam's Unplugged was released, I want to say there was 12,000 of those that were up for sale, but or that were pressed. And those actually went pretty quick and were, really up until they reissued it late last year. Those are really kind of hard to find for less than $100 online. So you never really know how it kind of plays out, but the Truth should definitely be a great one to pick up. The other one was one that I'm really interested in. I'm a big Rage Against the Machine fan, and this is actually a live album. This is the Battle for Mexico City. There's actually 12,350 of these, which is kind of a strange number. Normally it's a little close to being a straightforward, 12 or 13,000, whatever it is. So this is a live album that should be really interesting to pick up. At least the cover art I thought looked pretty sweet on there. But definitely those two, definitely for the June 12th date. Like I said earlier, there wasn't a whole lot. There's definitely a lot more on the June date than the July date. The first one for July 17th, though, is an album that I haven't really listened to a whole lot. And this is Sea of Memories by Bush. This is going to be the 10th anniversary edition of this. There's going to be 1,800 of these, so it's going to be somewhat limited. It wasn't a hugely popular Bush album, but I'm definitely a fan of their first, 3 or 4 albums. So I'll probably listen to this one between now and Record Store Day, and I may or may not pick it up. We'll see how it works out. But the next one is definitely going to be a great one to pick up. If you're a jazz fan, Miles Davis, this is the Jack Johnson Sessions. I know this has been released. Part of it has been released previously. I believe this is the whole, I don't know how many tracks it is, but the whole session. So there's actually going to be 7,500 of these released. Miles Davis stuff actually sells pretty decent for Record Store Day. I think most jazz stuff really does, but this is one that I'm not familiar with these tracks, so it's definitely a great one for me to pick up. The next one for July is an album that, I haven't listened to in a very long time, but I remember it being a really good album, and that is Lean Into It by Mr. Big. I believe this was like their big hit in the late 80s. I don't remember if it was like late 80s or very early 90s that this came out. 89, 90, somewhere around there. But anyway, this is going to be super limited. There's only going to be 500 of these. So this is going to be a really hard one to find. So if I'm within the first couple of people in line, I might be able to grab a copy of it, but that's definitely one that I'm going to try to grab. Another one this is kind of an interesting release. This is Alive by Pearl Jam. This is the 12-inch single. I believe that there's also a bunch of B-sides, and I believe 1 or 2 unreleased tracks on this also. This is going to be, there's a ton of these being issued, though. There's 18,500 of these. So not only can you pick this up probably any time around Record Store Day, you might be able to get a copy of this for Record Store Day Black Friday or Record Store Day 2022, because that's just an absolute ton. I'm really surprised they're pressing that many of them. Maybe because of how well the Unplugged album sold, a couple years back. So I don't know. It's one that I'll definitely try to pick up. I'm sure I will, with that many of them being issued. And this is actually a first release. So depending on how well this sells, they may press even more of them down the line. So the last one that I had on my list for July is an album that I had kind of thought was going to be on here. And so I wasn't really surprised when I saw it, and that is Mechanical Resonance. This is the first album from Tesla. Tesla released the Great Radio Controversy last year for Record Store Day, and it was an album that I was really excited to grab. So this is their debut album from 86, I believe, 86 or 87. So it's an album that I haven't listened to in a really long time, but it's one that I'll. There's 3,000 of these they're gonna be released. So it might not be too hard to find. We'll see. Sometimes it's crazy. Some of the albums that you don't think are going to sell out quick do, and the ones that you do think are going to sell out, you can grab a couple of weeks later sometimes. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to grab that one if I can. The packaging is really similar to the Great Radio Controversy release from last year, but I don't know. That's kind of what I was looking forward to. Well, that's all I got for this week, guys. Thanks for checking the show out. The list, at least from what I've seen online so far, has really been I've seen both sides of it. Some people absolutely love the stuff that's coming out and think that's actually better than last year's list. And there's a lot of other people that just don't really see a whole lot out there that really interests them, or it's going to make them get up in the middle of the night to go stand in line for 6-7 hours. But I don't know. Drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you're planning on going out or whatever you're looking for. But because I know there's a bunch of stuff on here that I didn't even talk about. I know there's some box sets that the guys a couple of people on the Facebook group were really excited for. But I don't know. Like I said, let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Hit that hit the like button down below, and hit the subscribe button. And that's it. Until next time, keep on spinning. Peace.